Hey folks, welcome back to SC Haulers. Hey folks, welcome back to SC Haulers. I am Saxa Wine, and today we are going over something you guys have mentioned in my comment section quite frequently. And that is Salvaging has gotten a huge update this patch in 4.2, and the only thing I've seen on it is a video from Chaotic Neutral, and it popped up on my feed last night. And if that's factual, this is big. So what we're going to do is get into the data and see if maybe there's a new shift in meta, or how every ship is going to react, or really what is going on with salvaging. So let's check it out. So first thing, before we get into the real data portion of this, I wanted to show you all the Wikelo Fortune. It's the first time we're seeing the Fortune in game that I say purchasable, but like, you got to play the game in order to get the Wikelo Fortune. I don't know, I feel like this skin would look a lot better on an Origin ship, but it does look really nice when you're up close. When you get into the ship itself, it kind of looks like a regular Fortune or Prospector. But when you're up this close and you're really looking at it, it looks really, really good. Now, they haven't added the Fortune to the in-game shops yet, so the only way to get it in-game currently is through the Wikelo trading system. It is 10 Wikelo favors. Not too bad if you're getting those MG scripts or council scripts. And I think even a line of mine is pretty dead nowadays, so if you want to go get yourself a Fortune, 10 Wikelo favors shouldn't be too bad. A little bit, I don't know, I'd argue to say that you'd spend most of your time at Wikelos just in an elevator up and down than you would actually getting the materials to convert them to favors. But here she is in all her glory for the top-down view, and you can kind of see already where, as we're getting a little bit farther away, it's kind of getting more of that metallic look. You can't see that gold trim that's on the bottom and like the sides of the engine. But let's get this thing out here. I put an Abrade scraper module on here. We are going to test, we're going to do the same test that we did previously with the Anvil Arrow contracts. We're going to time how quickly it's going to take us to get through these Anvil Arrow contracts. Now, I know this channel is new, and a lot of you probably haven't seen my Fortune versus Vulture video, so I'll give you a rundown. The Fortune had an average time of completing an Anvil Arrow, and that means from 100% to 0%, like mission complete, in 3 minutes 27 seconds. So I really want to see what the difference is with this Abrade head and the changes that they've made, and this is going by very, very quickly. We are already over halfway done, and we're only 28 seconds in. Holy cow. Okay, let's flip to the other side. I feel like if I would have reacted quicker, that would have been around 1 minute. But 1 minute, 3 seconds. So let's go ahead and get into the second one. And here we're going to finish up with the third one. Okay, and that's going to be the third test on the Anvil Arrow contracts. That's going to end at 1 minute 2 seconds. Test 2 was 1 minute 9 seconds. Test 1 was 1 minute 3 seconds. That puts the average at 1 minute 4 seconds. So compared to what my test was previously on these anvil arrows at 3 minutes 27 seconds, that is over 5 times faster. That is wild. Now I wanted to test the fortune because I heard that I haven't heard anything about the vulture. All I heard was that the fortune got a buff, the reclaimer got a buff. So I want to get in the vulture and see if this is the case where the fortune is this fast and the vulture didn't get a buff. Like, is the fortune gonna be the king? So we're gonna I'm gonna hop over to the vulture and we're gonna get into that same thing, 3 anvil arrows, and we're gonna give it a shot. Okay, so here we are with the vulture. We got the anvil in front of us. I have 2 Abrade scraper modules. And let's go ahead and start the timer here. I am not in salvage mode. That's a good start. All right, let's go. Both the braids active. Here we go. Wow. This is mowing through it. Which it did it before. Wow. Okay. This kind of changes everything. I'm super excited to see the Reclaimer changes. But we're at 3% on one side. It's going through all the way through. That's crazy. Mission complete. 40 seconds. That's, oh my gosh. All right, let's get to the next test. We were lucky enough to find another anvil arrow in the same station. So let's start the timer. Oh. Fun fact, if you didn't know, now you can fracture and scrape at the same time. Okay, now for real, let's start the timer. And here we go. But I'm going for those corners, so I need to converge the two scraper modules. And then once I come out to this base, spread them out. Oh my gosh, we're at 20% already. Is it going to let me finish just on one side? That'd be crazy. Okay, so 39 seconds. I feel like I could do much better than that, knowing how I need to converge the scraper heads now, which I knew that before, but you know, sometimes I just gotta talk stuff out. Let's get to the third test. That was super lucky. We got a third anvil arrow at crew L1. So, third test, I'm going to use my proven technique we talked about before and see if we can't decrease this time. All right, here we go. Ooh. This thing is going quick. Oh, that dropped down to from like 11 to 1%. 29 seconds. That was a full like 10-second drop off. Oh my gosh. Well, if you needed more proof why you need to converge and unconverge your scraper modules, that was a 10-second increase. So there you have it. So with that being said, we had a 37, a 39, and a 29-second test on the Drake Vulture. That would be an average of 35 seconds per anvil arrow. If you're looking to get, whatchamacallit, RMC out of anvil arrows, just don't bother. I'm using these as a test to gauge how quickly it can pull RMC off of a ship and complete a mission. This is not this is not for going to sell RMC. There are way better methods. That being said, I want to get into the Reclaimer, so we're going to hit one of those up and then try to get a hammerhead mission and see what's going on with that. And here she is. So we've pulled up to a hammerhead. This laser is going to be... This laser, I've been doing too much mining. This scraper module is the Abrade. There is... I found out through a little bit of testing before this portion of the video that there is a bug that you can start scraping with the tractor beam selected. So make sure you just switch back and forth between your scraper module and your tractor beam before you start actually scraping with the Reclaimer. That was the Abrade. You could see how large and how fast that was picking up that RMC. So let's hop into this other scraper here. This is going to be my Trawler. And just the size of this Trawler is just massive. Sorry, I keep messaging people in Discord. Look how gigantic that is. Oh my gosh. Now, it is still quite slow compared to the Abrade. The Cinch scraper module, it is the fastest of the three of them. It has a speed of 6 compared to the 0.5 speed that this Trawler has and the 0.15 I believe the Abrade has. But it also has a 3.7 diameter, I believe, compared to the 7.3 that the Abrade has and the 13.6 that the Trawler has. Overall, I think between the three scraper modules, I think we would find that the Abrade is probably going to be the best still for us solo salvagers. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this hammerhead with the Abrade head. And then I'll give you a rough estimate. So we're at 54 minutes now. And I will come back whenever I am done with this hammerhead and kind of give you a rundown of how the Abrade worked out for me. Okay, so we are approaching the end of our hammerhead here. I'm just trying to get this last 2%. And you can see that we are currently at 67.7 SCU of RMC. The timer has gone down to 41 minutes, which would indicate that we are at 13 minutes on our timer to get towards the end of this hammerhead. And this looks like it might be my last 1%. So this is already going significantly faster than it would if you were in the old system in 4.1.1. It's very reminiscent of what 3.18 was. It's obviously not as egregious. Another thing I'd like to point out about this too is they've made it where the hammerhead and the, well, I say hammerhead, but the unverified missions are now showing up at the mining bases, and it's not just around the yellow asteroid field. This is something that was their last patch. 4.1.1, all the unverified missions were in the yellow asteroid field. So in 4.2, you will find more missions at the abandoned mining bases around Crusader, whatever system they're in. I don't know if these unverified missions are still available or are available in other systems. Previously, they were around ArcCorp, I believe. So maybe with all these abandoned mining outposts, we may find more unverified missions available. But as of right now, this is Crusader, and we are at an abandoned mining outpost. But that aside, let's go ahead and pull up SPviewer and see what our Reclaimer looks like with the new salvage heads or scraper modules. Jeez, I've been mining so much. Scraper modules. Okay, so here are the 3 modules while they are attached to the Reclaimer. And so you can see the Cinch has a speed of 6 with that diameter of a 3.27 and then the efficiency rating of a 0.85. Now what I'm curious about is the size of the Abrade is the 7.63. The Cinch is currently sitting at a size of 3.27, which is roughly around where the Abrade was at last patch and previously overall. So is the 6 speed fast enough to overcompensate for the lack of size? Essentially, which would be better, the Cinch or Abrade if you are solo salvaging? As for the Trawler, like, something's got to give. That speed is so slow. Like, the size is so large. You gotta do something with the Trawler to make it worth it. Even if it were a size 13.08 and a speed of 17, but the efficiency was 0.3, I would be happy with that because I would get through those missions a lot faster. There is a specific use for that. But as of right now, it's sitting at a super slow speed, a super bad efficiency. The only benefit it has is it's very large. So right now, I've tried the Trawler. I would not, it wasn't just in this video, but the Trawler I would not recommend. It is very cool just seeing a lot of that RMC being pulled up, but it is so slow compared to the Abrade and the Cinch. So I'm going to head back to Orison, and I am going to replace the Cinch with I'm going to replace the Trawler with a Cinch. And then I will do a final test on, is the Cinch fast enough to be better than the Abrade? Okay, so I couldn't leave the original audio in here because this video is getting super long. So let me just summarize what I found with the Cinch versus the Abrade. The Cinch is very, very, very fast. Like you can see, I am going through this, and as I'm moving my cursor across the screen, it is just picking up everything. The downside is it is super small. And so you're not getting a lot of the stuff. You're having to go back and forth, much like you used to have to with the previous version of what these modules had, which is the downside of the Cinch. Essentially, like, overall, I think if you had 2 people scraping with Cinches, it would be ideal. Because at the end of this, I ended up with 10 more RMC than I did fully doing a hammerhead with the Abrade. So it's totally worth using 2 Cinches if you're going for maximum efficiency and you don't care about time. But I used the Cinch for about 5 minutes, and I only made it through this 1/2 on one side of the hammerhead. And then I went for another 5 minutes on the Abrade, and I was able to finish an entire side. So that being said, I think if you're going for maximum efficiency and you have 2 people with you to hit both scraping modules, use Cinches. But overall, if you want to get in and out, go with the Abrades. Especially if you're a solo player, no matter if you're on the Vulture, Fortune, or Reclaimer, go with the Abrade scraper module. That is going to be your most efficient and fastest way to get RMC. Salvaging's back, baby. Let's do it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I am Saxawine. This is SC Hollers. I know it was a long one. If you stuck around all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. Why are these couch cushions messed up like this? Anyways, if you like the video, hit that like button, please. If you want to see more industrial-based content, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever I launch a video. And then, other than that, we'll see you next time. Love you, bye.